Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy. We're here with Crystal from Survivor Gabon. Thanks for being with us today, Crystal.
Thank you for having me.
So, how are you chosen to be on Survivor?
I auditioned like any regular person.
It looked like an open audition, right? Like a CBS sponsored one?
I said it. I drove to Virginia, and I stood in line with thousands of contestants, and they chose me.
Was that the first and only time?
That was the first and only time, yes, sir.
Excellent.
So were you a fan of the show?
I am a super fan of the show.
Excellent. We love to hear that.
Absolutely. So what was your strategy being a fan? You'd been thinking about it for a while. What was your strategy going in?
Well, I knew I had to lay low. I was like, okay, everyone's going to see that I'm an athlete, so let me lay kind of low. Definitely develop some friendships and relationships and carry the numbers all the way to the end.
Yeah.
So what did you do to prepare yourself both physically and mentally to be on the show?
Honestly, physically, absolutely nothing. I totally cut my training out, which was a bad thing. But I went to McDonald's and I really packed on some weight. I was eating junk food like crazy. I was like, I got to put on some weight just in case I'm starving out there.
Yeah. Now, did you tell anyone you were an Olympic gold medal winner?
On the show, not right from the beginning. Eventually, I told Kenny and Sugar and Maddie.
Okay, so they knew. Did they tell? Do you know if they told anyone
else? We
else?
swore each other to secrecy that we wouldn't tell anybody, and because we all had secrets about each other, and so we was like, okay, and it never came up in the show, and I'm glad.
No one ever used it on you, as far as you can tell.
Nope, no one ever used it.
Okay.
Now, Jillian told us that she recognized you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jillian and Randy knew who I was, but they never used it against me.
Well, Charlie also told us that he told people, maybe on Coda, who you were, because he recognized you. That's what he told us.
I didn't know that. Oh,
So
man.
he said he told.
Oh, I believe him. I didn't tell anyone, though.
So when you got out there, you're a fan, but you got out there, how was the reality different?
Oh, my gosh.
What was it like for you?
It hit me like a ton of bricks. I mean, I was like, okay, I'm put in this situation. I'm hungry, I'm starving, I'm dehydrated, and it is real life drama.
Yeah.
It was so hard. It was hard.
Did it take a lot of energy to stay focused on what was going on when you were going through that?
Oh, it definitely took a lot of energy. I mean, you're lacking food and shelter. I mean, we did have a little hut, but it wasn't much comfort. And you just had to stay focused. The game went on even when you were sleeping.
Oh, what do you mean?
Many times for Kenny and I to not show that our allegiance to each other, we would get up in the middle of the night, I'm assuming 2, 3 o'clock, because I didn't know what time it was.
All right.
And we would send each other signals, meet by this tree at this time. And we were strategizing even when people were sleeping.
Well, that's funny because Corinne told us that she and Bob would get up in the middle of the night, and that's when they would take the beads off of the torches and plan the fake immunity idol. And it's a wonder you didn't run into each other out there.
I did not run into them because, you know what? The whole time we would go to sleep, Corinne would sleep next to me. And I must have been out like a log for her to be getting up in the middle of the night doing all this conniving.
So tell us about that reward challenge last night.
Oh, man, the reward challenge was great. I mean, I got to see gorillas up close and personal, and it was just phenomenal. Like, I've never got to see that kind of stuff. Like, the gorillas were just staring at you. And it was just so in your face. I loved it.
How long were you there with the gorillas?
We were there for a few hours. I would say like 2 hours. It was a nice experience.
On the show, we got to see that one scene where you were about 25 feet apart. Was there anything else to that when you were there? Or did you guys do anything else with them?
Well, we got to see the gorillas play. And there was this little baby gorilla and a teenage gorilla. And the baby was swinging, and the teenager went and hit him upside the head. And we thought that was like so funny. And then when they were playing, the silverback came and grabbed this club and just started running, and it looked like the ground was shaking. He was like, I'm here, I'm in charge. And we was like, oh man. And it was just phenomenal.
So did you feel like you had kind of a spiritual experience like Bob said he did, or?
No, I just felt like I learned a lot about myself when I was there, you know, and just being able to get on a reward. I mean, I was struggling for so long, you know, and it was just good to get away and eat some food.
Yeah. What was the helicopter trip like?
Oh, my God.
Did that last very long?
It was like an hour to and fro. And yeah, it was a long ride. But that was like my first time in a helicopter. And Bob was like a kid in a candy store, you know, and he was just so excited, and he was showing us stuff. And me and Kenny was like, okay, are we in the game or are we out of the game? Like the whole time we're sitting there like, okay, do we trust Bob? What's going to happen? But the whole helicopter experience was great. I loved it.
So tell us why you decided not to vote Maddie off when you had the opportunity.
When I had the opportunity, I wanted to stick with the 5. I pledged my allegiance to my alliance, and that's one thing I can't say. I was an honorable player, and as far as with my alliance, and they knew, okay, whatever vote I was going to say I was going to do, I followed through, and I wanted to stick with my alliance because I wanted us to make it to the end.
So did Maddie tell that he had lost his inheritance? Did anybody know about that?
That background on him?
Yes, it's not on the show, but yes, I did know about it.
Okay.
Did everyone know?
Only the 5. Actually, me, Kenny, Sugar, and me. We were the only 3 because that was our secret. You know, like my secret was Olympian. Like we shared secrets, and he actually came out and told us that he lost his inheritance.
So were you planning to use that against him if you made it into the final 3 with him?
No, because it was a secret, and he promised us the secrecy, and I was like, as long as you guys don't use the whole Olympic thing against me, and this, that, and the third, and Sugar, I won't tell anyone that you're a professional actress, and Maddie, I won't do this, that, and the third, and we all agreed to it, and it never came up.
What was Ken's secret?
He was the #1 strategic gamer in the world.
Oh, okay.
And it showed in the game because me and him, we were working it out.
So in a confessional, he said that he saved you from day one, right? And that you tended to be real aggressive and you put the other people off in that sense, and that you wouldn't have been there if it weren't for Ken.
Yeah, Kenny
What's your
saved me.
response to that?
Actually, I can agree with him to some extent. Kenny saved me from Ace, and because Ace was coming in to blindside me. But Kenny can't say that because I saved him too from Marcus.
So he's not the only reason.
Exactly. We saved each other. That's why we were in there like freaking frack.
So he said you were very intimidating and always on edge. Do you feel like you came across that way?
Kenny said this? Intimidating. Yeah. Actually, when Kenny and I first met, I gave him this evil look like his mom.
I saw some of those looks you were giving.
Yeah, and he did something. He put his foot up on the table, and I was like, "You don't put your feet up on the table." And I just like glared at him. And then we actually spoke about that moment because he knew exactly what moment I was talking about. And I guess he can't say that. I guess.
So he thinks he's the mastermind and the major strategist. How do you feel about your strategy?
I felt like I just played a social game. I mean, whatever Kenny told me to do, honestly, I was like, okay, Kenny, we're going to follow through with it. I tried to stay on folks' good side, even though I came off as a bully, how I was edited, and I don't think I am. But after looking at how the show is playing out, Kenny is a peon compared to Sugar. Sugar is the mastermind. She's the puppet master right now.
Really?
Yes. Yes,
Interesting.
Sugar is working it out.
So did you guys ever discuss an all-girl alliance?
An all-girl alliance came up when Jillian was going to get the boot. And that was
the only time?
That was the only time. I never made any promises to Susie and Sugar saying, oh gosh, it's going to be us 3. My allegiance was to Kenny and Sugar.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the very beginning. You chose Susie.
Oh my gosh, yes.
What was going on there? What went through your mind when you made that choice? How did you come to that conclusion?
Loyalty. I mean, she's a mom. She was the only other mother on the show. And
you connected with that.
yes,
is what happened.
I genuinely, with everything in my heart, I connected with her with that. And it helped for a few days, and then she turned on me because she switched alliances and went with Randy and stuff.
So you were aware of all that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I was not aware of that. Not up until I saw it. You know, like, I think they showed like day 6 or 7 when Randy, Maddie, Susie, and I think it was Dan.
Yes.
They
when
all
they
went in
off,
the woods.
right before the repick of the tribes.
Exactly. And I was like, oh my gosh, something is going on with Susie. You know, it was so weird. But then after that moment, I was like, okay, she has her allegiance with
You knew she had switched at that point. Okay.
Yeah.